All right, all right, all right. One love, one love, one love. What a man say. So, you know, I've been uh I've been chilling recently, right? Like everybody else, just kind of moving and grooving, doing my thing and whatnot, right? Um, and then I had got some information from a few people that came from a gathering, you know, to talk about health and whatnot, right? How we can improve our health and so on and so forth, right? And it was a positive gathering. I had every intention on going. However, I had something come up, which I'll probably do a series on. I'm thinking about it because it's a true testament to to the way of life and to what pathways to go down and what happens when you even don't follow what you know to follow. But I'll get into that later. I had every intention on going to this gathering, but because of circumstances, I ended up staying, where I was, where I'm at, whatever, right? And so then I get several calls, some information about a few people that came from this gathering and that are currently experiencing COVID like symptoms, right? So I'm like, wow, that's interesting, right? This gathering, it's a gathering where people get together, they talk. It's like a convention type of space, and then they do a ritual ceremony, to enliven, the energies or whatever, right? But now it's like, wow, if you gather and get together, you could probably possibly more than likely get sick, right? And if you know anybody who really knows me knows I'm kind of like a jokester and whatnot. Like I do this play on words. I like shock value information and so on and so forth, right? And so then I was like, oh, I started making a joke. I said, man, we're gonna have to start having rituals in the metaverse. And I started joking about it. Now I'm thinking like, could this situation that we're all experiencing now have been a part of the overall plan to get everybody into the metaverse? Because now, you know, it's in the system, it's in society. The dominant, danger of COVID, like, oh, you're gonna get COVID and transcend and pass away and so on. That fear is out of society by and large. People are kind of like transcending that. Um, because society still needs to run and function. But the understanding now is that like people are trying to get back to normal, but there's something vicious in the air. There's something that, can harm and hurt you and your family if you're not careful. So you still have this constant, caution. You're gonna still have this constant caution about gatherings. And so what's naturally gonna happen, like my social media presence became a little bit more heightened in this this last 2 years, because I didn't have interactions with anybody else. And so I ended up finding other means of communicating and interacting with people. And I think a lot of us did that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think a lot of us ended up doing that. I think a lot of us ended up, sorry about that, I had to take a call. I think a lot of us ended up doing that anyway, getting on social media, because we were restricted. And so now with this situation lightening up, people wanting to return to normal, getting out there socializing, but then because they're socializing in groups, they're coming back with COVID or whatever, this lighter form of COVID, which is like an enhanced flu type of situation. You know, now there's just more caution and more fear. And so naturally, people are going to turn, I think, to this whole metaverse concept, just for social gatherings. And what is that going to do to us? I mean, people think now making a video is a good substitute for reading a book, or watching a video is a good substitute for reading a book, when it's not. It's a shallow surface level consciousness that you get about a situation or an event or a topic that you're studying, but it's not deep study on the topic. Like, you don't know the topic, you have kind of a sense of what people are talking about because you watched a video instead of read on the topic. You're not understanding the topic. And this is why when you have conversations with people about information that they've watched in a video, they can't talk to you about what they're talking about because they don't really fully understand it. What they want to do then is play a video for you to try to prove their point, which is ridiculous. Beforehand, people had to read. So there is a lessening of consciousness. I guess it's a dehumanization factor that's going on. Like, we're becoming less and less human because our human faculties are being usurped by these technologies. I was listening to a show today, and it said the telephone usurped telepathy. Yeah, I would say it did. I'm old enough to remember, um, when I don't know, people probably still say it today, when people used to say, "Oh, I was just thinking about you," and you called, right? That tend to be a conversation that happened, a lot during the 90s and 2000s or whatever, before the cell phone thing. Because now with the cell phone thing, there's this feeling of instant communication. Like, you have to be instantly available to somebody when they call, and if you're not instantly available to somebody when they call, there's a problem. And that's an issue in and of itself. But I think that has dulled the faculties of intuition, our communication, our connection that we used to have, when there was that sense of telepathy between us. And so now, what's going to happen now if everything we do is in the metaverse, where we're disconnected from life. Basically, we're disconnected from life, and we're interacting not with people per se, but with these electronic signals. What is that going to do to us? What is that going to do to a person? Because that's simply that would be the occupation of the mental faculties within our body, but we're not just the mind. So I guess the mental and emotional faculties within our body, but we will be depriving ourselves of the actual physical interaction with another person. There is a physical auric interaction that you have with a being, with anybody else you come into contact with. And there will be, I guess, in the metaverse, emotional interactions that you have with people from seeing a person. You'll still have that emotional, but there's this sixth sense interaction where you feel the other person that won't be there. That sense of who they are is going to be diminished. I'm not going to say it won't be there, but it'll definitely be diminished. The interaction will be diminished. There will be this block and this barrier up. It's like false friendship, false connection, false communication. Because I'm on this app now, and people, interact socially on the app you know, in one way, but then when you meet up with somebody, it's like a completely different thing, you know. So I don't know, but it begs the question, you know, what came first? The idea of the metaverse or the idea of the pen or or this idea of this genetically engineered social experiment that we're all going through right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and make no mistake, this thing was socially engineered, you know, released inside a lab and meant to do something that it didn't do. But you know, we got to see. We got to stay up, everybody. We got to stay up. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna go ahead and document this journey, this health journey. I'm a little bit ashamed, I would say, of what's going on with me. But you know, I gotta accept what has happened. You know, I have to be honest with myself that I have not followed the rules. I have allowed myself to, you know, mm, pay less attention and give in to desires, so to speak, the desires of the palate, the desires of taste, so to speak, and become gluttonous. And so as a result, you know, I am experiencing, you know, something, or at least it has been reported to me that there may be an issue with my system. And so uh, I have to deal with that. And I think I'm gonna document the journey, and then we're gonna put the teachings to a test. I'm willing to do that. You know, the teachings say, you know, you can heal yourself. Let the food be the medicine, your medicine be your food. So we're doing that. I started the process of healing myself through the food, you know, last Wednesday by fasting. I'm doing this intermittent fasting thing now, where I'm eating simply one meal a day now. Um, you know, and then that's it. I don't even snack anymore. You know, the interesting thing is you forget, like you train the mind and you train the body, and sometimes you forget when you're in the throes of the current miasm that you're experiencing. You forget, like you get programmed and conditioned a certain way, right? So right now, I'm eating once a day, and I've done it before, you know, but I usually don't get on my hyper discipline until I'm at the monastery. When I'm at the monastery, then I focus on spirituality because it takes me leaps and bounds when I'm able to just focus on nothing else but growing spiritually. However, you know, for me, it seems like it's like a pendulum swing. You know, I get juiced up, so to speak, on all of this spiritual energy. I get all of this chi, all of this ashe, and I come out into the world. And the discipline that gave me the ashe, the discipline that gave me the chi, the discipline that gave me the energy slowly chips away. You know, it's like society and the desires and the pleasures and the sensations of, and the pressures and the stresses of society chips slowly away at the spiritual discipline. And I give in. You know, I give in uh, for whatever reasons, for a number of reasons. I give in to the pressures and the stresses, and my way of coping with it is finding good, what I would consider good alternatives. But really, just less is the best. Less is the best. Less is the best. Just what you need. And so now, you know, I've been doing this once a day thing. I feel the hunger pangs, and it's kind of interesting. Like everything is a relationship, you know, and I forget that, and I forgot that, and I'm doing that again. And I'm looking at the mental relationship that I'm having now with my hunger pains. And before it was kind of like, oh, I got to get rid of them. And now it's like just me observing them, you know, because I know I still have energy. You know, I know I'm going to eat. So now I'm just going through it. This is you know, day 5, so to speak. It's really wild. I'm gonna do a whole series and talk about what happened to me. Um, but yeah, but I just really wanted to get up here and talk about, you know, the possibility of the connection between the current socially engineered experiment and the metaverse. So light and love, peace and blessings. Hope everything's well and blessed.